Lucy came running full tilt downstairs, having just nipped into the drawing-room to smooth a cover, to straighten a chair, to pause a moment and feel whoever came in must think how clean, how bright, how beautifully cared for when they saw the beautiful silver, the brass fire-irons, the new chair covers, and the curtains of yellow chintz. She appraised each, heard a roar of voices. People already coming up from dinner. She must fly. The Prime Minister was coming, Agnes said. So she had heard them say in the dining room, she said, coming in with a tray of glasses. Did it matter? Did it matter in the least, one Prime Minister, more or less? It made no difference at this hour of the night to Mrs. Walker among the plates, saucepans, colanders, frying pans, chicken in aspic, ice cream freezers, pared crusts of bread, lemons, soup tureens, and pudding basins, which, however hard they washed up in the scullery, seemed to be all on top of her, on the kitchen table, on chairs, while the fire blared and roared, the electric lights glared, and still supper had to be laid. All she felt was one Prime Minister more or less made not a scrap of difference to Mrs. Walker. There is a very funny mark on this wall, low down near the mop-board, a streak that runs around the room. It goes behind every piece of furniture except the bed. A long, straight, even smooch, as if it had been rubbed over and over. I wonder how it was done, and who did it, and what they did it for. Round and round and round and round and round and round. It makes me dizzy. I really have discovered something at last. Through watching so much at night, when it changes so, I have finally found out. The front pattern does move, and no wonder. The woman behind shakes it. Sometimes I think there are a great many women behind, and sometimes only one, and she crawls around fast, and her crawling shakes it all over. Then, in the very bright spots, she keeps still, and in the very shady spots, she just takes hold of the bars and shakes them hard. And she is all the time trying to climb through, but nobody could climb through that pattern. It strangles so. I think that is why it has so many heads. Late in the afternoon she sought refuge with Mademoiselle Reisz and stayed there alone, waiting for her, feeling a kind of repose invade her with the very atmosphere of the shabby, unpretentious little room. Edna sat at the window, which looked out over the housetops and across the river. The window frame was filled with pots of flowers, and she sat and picked the dry leaves from a rose geranium. The day was warm, and the breeze which blew from the river was very pleasant. She removed her hat and laid it on the piano. She went on picking the leaves and digging around the plants with her hat pin. Edna seated herself at the piano and softly picked out with one hand the bars of a piece of music which lay open before her. A half-hour went by. There was the occasional sound of people going and coming in the lower hall. She was growing interested in her occupation of picking out the aria, when there was a second rap at the door. She vaguely wondered what these people did when they found Mademoiselle's door locked. "Come in," she called, turning her face toward the door. And this time it was Robert Lebrun who presented himself. She attempted to rise. She could not have done so without betraying the agitation which mastered her at sight of him. So she fell back upon the stool, only exclaiming, "Why, Robert!" He came and clasped her hands, seemingly without knowing what he was saying or doing. "Mrs. Pontellier! How do you happen? Oh, how well you look! Is Mademoiselle Reisz not here? I never expected to see you. When did you come back?" asked Edna in an unsteady voice, wiping her face with her handkerchief. She seemed ill at ease on the piano stool, and he begged her to take the chair by the window. She did so, mechanically, while he seated himself on the stool. "I returned day before yesterday," he answered, while he leaned his arm on the keys, bringing forth a crash of discordant sound.